What's going on, everybody? Yashua Suarez with Edge Realty, and this is another episode of the Edge Realty Podcast. This is the first episode of our newest season, and we want to welcome you back. We're in 2025, and there's a couple of things that have changed, a couple of things that we have to announce, but also our next guest that we have here for today, starting off our season strong, is one of our elite agents, the one and only, the one that has won the Edge Realty Agent of the Year in sales volume all around. But she's much more than that. She's a symbol of what Edge Realty stands for. She's a symbol of what our culture is about. And I'm so happy to have her here. So happy for her to be the first guest of this season. And please allow me to introduce Miss Tamara Miles. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome. I don't need to say anything else.
I gotta come strong. You know, I love you so much. So
And I love you,
we gotta come strong with your introduction. And you've done so much, and there's so much that I want to talk to you about because of you were there when I first started, and you were there early on in the stages of Edge Realty with the small group that was here originally, and you're still here. Just like tell me what is it that has kept you here at Edge Realty for all these years, and just kind of been the symbol that you are within our family.
I get asked that a lot. Why do you stay? I stay because the environment. I stay because I am genuinely in love with Edge and those that are here with me. When I started, it's been the same since I started in 2017 to today. And unless Corbin says we're closing the doors, I'm going to be here. So an ongoing thing is, you can talk to Tamara, but she's not leaving Edge, she ain't leaving Jim. That's what, and I don't even like him like that. But that's what's said. It's just when I've gone through things, Edge has been there for me. When I lost my grandson, Edge stepped up. You were on your way to my house. Everybody was there. That it's family. You guys are family for me.
Amen.
So you're my family here in Arkansas, and y'all don't get rid of me like that.
Yeah,
So I'm not going anywhere.
And I feel you on that because, like, all right, so neither of us are originally from Arkansas,
Right?
Me and my family, we moved here in 2016. How long have you been in Arkansas now?
8 years in February.
8 years. So yeah, so pretty much
Yeah.
almost the same amount of time.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been here fairly. So you're from Indianapolis originally,
Mhm.
and I'm originally from Connecticut, but we moved around. We're a military family, so we
Okay.
moved around a bit. What was it that like really what I'm trying to say is that Edge became that family that we didn't have here in Arkansas. And I can absolutely just kind of agree with you with that point, because as human beings, I feel like we're all we all want to be part of something. We want to be
Absolutely.
included in something. We feel like we're a part
Absolutely.
of some sort of family, some sort of tribe.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, I know for me, I tried to force it when I first got here because of coming from overseas. Like, we're in military on a military base in Japan,
Mhm.
but there it seems like everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
So everybody's kind of forcing it. So when you do force it, it kind of happens anyways. But here back in the state, I was still on that mindset of being overseas, and I wanted to come here and create that. And I didn't have that for the first few years. And it wasn't
Right.
until 2018, 2019 when I came on the Edge that I finally got that. And it wasn't forced. It was already there. I just kind of just slid into what was already happening.
Yeah.
And that was the amazing part. You guys already had the culture. You guys already had the vibe. You guys already
Yeah.
had everything that was already meant to be here for us to feel comfortable and to feel like family.
Yeah. And can I say this?
Yes, of
I
course.
remember when you first came, we were in
Don't tell me I
the
was 30 pounds lighter, because I know that.
Well, we attended our first function together, which was at the oh my gosh, it was something JC just I had to go to.
Was it the Jacksonville chamber?
Chamber,
The yeah,
yes.
yep.
And you went, that was, and so that was really my first time meeting you. And you just fit right in. It wasn't like you were a stranger. I had seen you in passing, but had not had any, dealings with you. I'm gonna say dealings, but
Mhm.
you just fit in. And here's the thing. I feel like all of you guys are like my children, my sons. Y'all them son, just like my biological children, they will get me together, and y'all do the same. So it for me, it was natural
Mhm.
to come into a setting with a bunch of young men that were younger than my children, because all of y'all are younger than my kids.
Mhm.
And so to be welcomed in that way by everybody, I was like, I belong here.
Yeah, yeah, and it was super natural. It was easy from what it seemed like because it was just natural. It just
Yes.
happened that way.
Yes.
We just all happened to mesh. We all happened to have our
Mhm.
own personalities, but it
Mhm.
all just kind of meshed into it. And that's one of the
Mhm.
biggest things as to why I'm such an advocate for Edge Realty and why I love it here so much. And I like, again, I can second your feelings on this because of the fact that
Mhm.
it is a family here, and those that have been here for a while, and even those that have just gotten here are starting to realize that as well too. And
Yes.
I hope that it keeps going. It keeps
Absolutely.
carrying on.
Absolutely.
So all right. So agent of the year,
Ah.
we got to talk about it. Let's
Ooh.
talk about. All right. Let's go back a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to about maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me the transition, the change from 4 years ago, the Tamara Miles back then to Tamara Miles that we have now that went through 2024 as agent of the year.
Well, I started working with Veterans United, and the rest is history.
No, come on. There's way deeper than that. No, but like, all right. So what I'm trying to get at is there was, you've been in real estate for
Yes.
years. So going
Years.
on what, 20 years?
Yeah, it was 22 years now.
22 years now.
Yeah.
So you've been in the game
18.
for a
Yeah.
while. And you've been in the game here in Arkansas for 8 years. So what was it like? Because we all know there's ups and downs in this industry. There's
Yes.
ups and downs of the industry itself, and then our business itself as well too.
Mhm.
And you have an inspirational story because of the fact that you were at a moment, kind of second guessing of even staying here in Arkansas, and then
Absolutely.
also, second guessing the real estate side of things for a little bit.
Mhm.
What was it that went from that Tamara Miles to the Tamara Miles that we've had these past few
It
years?
motivated me. Um, when my children said, "Mom, you're gonna have to do something. We're not taking care of you anymore." 2 months later, I figured it out, and I got back to my old self. When I think when you, you're right. It was a conundrum for me because I was like, am I staying here? I went through a divorce. So am I staying here or am I leaving? Um, I hadn't decided because I'm also licensed in Indiana. So I was like, oh, I can go back and activate my license or reactivate my license and start selling there because
Mm-hmm.
that's where I came from. But I decided that, the ultimatum that I was given, along with what I knew I had in me.
Yes.
I knew I had, I mean, I owned my own business from 2003 to 2014. I was Be More Realty, and I knew I had that drive in me. Um, but I was just into me, not knowing what I wanted to do, and I was okay with that. And when I first came to Edge, this wasn't a company where if your numbers aren't here, you can't stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So that placated too. You know what I'm saying? So um when I knew that I first wanted to stay here, when I decided I wanted to stay here, And then after the ultimatum, then I said, okay, Tamara, get with it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what you're doing. I did have a few sales, but I guess I just was impressed because I didn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I go back to 2021 and I look at my numbers, I did less than 400,000. I'm gonna just give that a little,
Yeah,
less
yeah,
than
yeah.
400,000
Yeah, in volume, yeah.
in volume. And then the following year, I did 7.3, 7.4, because I knew what I needed to do. I knew it. I didn't want to.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to. I didn't think I had to. I fought y'all on, this is what you should do. This is what we want to see you do. I ain't doing nothing. I'm not doing it. Y'all not
Yeah.
gonna make me. That was my attitude,
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't want to do it. But once I got to myself, back into myself, I have not looked back. So I've been producing big numbers for the last 3 years. And I just had to come to the realization that if you don't do it, nobody else is gonna do it, and you can't depend on your sons because they have their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really a turning point for me.
Yeah.
That I knew what to do. My youngest son, he would just say stuff to me, and I just want to go through the phone and fight him, because he was like, you did this for this time, and you know what you're doing. You just got to get out there. And then I would come into the office, and I hear from Jim, I hear from you, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, I think others seen things in me because they had seen it on previously
Mm-hmm.
that they just didn't see. And it was just, I had to take myself out of the way. And I have a passion for what I do. My passion seems like it just diminished. It wasn't there anymore. And I was like, girl, what you doing? I had to really ask myself, what was I doing? So, I found, well, Veterans United found me because I had uh, a client that was referred to me by a past client.
Mm-hmm.
And I did so well with that client in Veterans United, they invited me. They invited me to join them, and I joined them, and it's just been a beautiful thing.
So you joined Veterans United as a referral partner,
Yes.
right? And then that's just kind of where that catapulted you into the I don't want to say the old Tamara Miles, but the new Tamara Miles.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the old Tamara Miles, it was a different person as well too. Before you went into the harder times, and then came back out of it. That's a whole new person now.
Yeah.
And I think the crazy thing is that a lot of us go through that. All of us go through that in one way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of it is where either it's ego, it's something that goes on in our life, that affects us, or it's that type of passion that just kind of leaves.
Yeah.
But it's our responsibility to go ahead and turn that passion back on.
Absolutely. And turn it up.
And turn it up, exactly.
It's
interesting because I do remember when Jim, JC were the ones that kept telling me, like, Tamara is extremely intelligent and she has so much knowledge in real estate that it was kind of boggling their mind that because they knew what you had, they knew your capabilities, and they wanted to see that out of you again. And I just remember sitting there, and that was one of the things that made me look up to you as well too when it came to real estate. Because when I would have conversations with you, I'm like, I can ask her anything about real estate. I mean, anything in general because we were family, but anything in real estate, and she will have the answer. She will have some sort of knowledge, or she'll know exactly who to talk to about it. And I was just like, man, like, Like, it's not your knowledge wasn't reflecting your outcome.
Right.
And now that was the crazy part that I had. But it was amazing to see once you did have that switch, like you said, and turn that volume up. Like, that was Tamara Miles that I was waiting for.
Right.
That's the one I've been waiting for, because of the fact that, I didn't get to see you before that. I didn't get to see you before that slower time for you. And everybody told me about it, but as far as like what you did at the beginning when you first got to Edge, and it was amazing to see that transition to the point where I think I remember when you had that big breakthrough. Corbin was one of the first people to say, the basically without having an award, they kind of gave you an award, which was most improved. Most improved. So it was kind of like an inaugural award without actually getting an award. But during the award ceremony, I remember that was one of his biggest things. He was like, I need to give a shout out to Tamara Miles for her improvement from going from 400,000 in volume the year prior to that next year going to over 7 million.
And I got Buyer's Agent of the Year. He called it a crazy transition, something that he's never seen in the years.
Yep.
From
one year to what that type of volume that is? Like, I mean, that's almost 200% an increase. It's almost a 200. I mean, not even 200. What am I talking about? That's almost a 2,000% increase.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so it just shows you that a lot of times we are the ones that hold ourselves back.
Absolutely.
We are the ones that hold ourselves back, and we can't expect somebody else's or situation to affect ours in a way, or the outside situation to affect ours. We need to take control of it to go ahead and push it forward.
Yeah, and so and I will add to that, by me coming back to where I was and have been previously in the years before I came to Edge, that actually spurned me to to go back to what I knew. I love educating. I love teaching. I love that. But how could I expect for you guys to believe that I could do that when I wasn't showing you anything else?
Yeah.
So I had to also get over that. I was like, you know what? If I want to show off, because I am definitely a shower offer. So if you can't trust me with other agents, newer agents, and you don't see nothing, So that was another thing that, spurned me to, okay, JC had me helping agents, working with agents before I even became, before I even started doing anything, because I was a broker. I came there a broker, so that was a little lift off of his back, I could help. But it's like, I remember Jim saying to me one time, we know you can do it. I need you to show me. And that infuriated me, because I'm like, how dare he say he want me to prove myself to him? But I wasn't thinking about, you haven't shown him anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can't get something when you're not putting anything in.
Yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So coming back to where I was, it was a Tamara thing, how dare, I got the how dare they syndrome. You don't be asking me for nothing. You don't be asking me to prove why I'm Tamara Miles. I wasn't Tamara Miles. Now I'm Tamara Miles. I am that strategic broker. That's I am right. The one that has all this education. I talk about all the time how I had to earn being a broker, being licensed in 4 different states. I had to earn that. It wasn't given to me. So people were like, she a broker, but what she do to be, what is she? She ain't even do nothing. Or she ain't doing nothing. So I got it,
Yep.
And so it's where I am right now today, 3 years later. It's just like
day and night.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. So it's like I took a hiatus, and I don't even know why I took that hiatus for that long,
Hmm.
Um, but I did. But now Tamara is back. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
So it's like, I have to continue, doing what I'm doing. And I get that support from you guys, Corbin, Jim, you, Ashley, Bethany, Veronica, Carrie, Sierra, all of that support. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And so I enjoy getting the phone calls asking me questions as a broker. I enjoy that, but with my phone wasn't ringing when I was call me, y'all call me,
Yeah.
and so that makes me feel good. It makes me feel useful
Yeah.
because I can share with others, what I've experienced. Now it is different because it's remember I fought this new age too. I fought y'all too. I ain't doing that. I ain't no.
You fought me
I did.
so hard on doing those educational videos.
I
I
did.
knew again that going back, and that was one of the things that I could add. I could add for you
Mhm.
because I mean, other than that, like I didn't have anything to offer you as far as like knowledge and stuff like that, other than maybe a little bit on the marketing side. So my thing was, you have so much knowledge that I wanted you to start putting that out there on video as well too. You
Mhm.
started doing these, what is it, the Strategic Broker
Yes.
Chronicles,
Yep. The
right?
Strategic Broker
And
Chronicles.
it was in your car, and I was like, that's it. Like you did one video, and I was like, that's amazing. Like keep doing that right there. Like I keep telling this to everybody is, if you have the knowledge, you know more than the public does, so use that to your abilities, and for the fact that you are not just your average agent, you've had experience with
Mhm.
all that knowledge. You have so much to share, and then when
Mhm.
you put it on video, you can talk to more people at one time
It's
instead of just
true.
one
Yeah.
on one.
Yeah.
And so I was so glad when he started doing those, which I haven't seen in a while, but
I know.
uh,
You didn't have to
no,
say
no,
that.
she's busy though. You're busy now.
You didn't have
You're
to say
busy
that.
now though. You're
I
busy. You
am,
got
but
stuff
I
going
I
on.
can still,
But
make time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it is just little stuff. But it's when I started seeing you doing those videos, it was amazing because I was like, I swear, if she doesn't blow up from this, like, you know what I mean? But the thing was that you got busy after that. The volume started picking up,
Yeah.
business started picking up. So you had other streams of marketing that you were doing
Yeah.
anyways. That just
Yeah.
didn't happen to do with social media. But now you've been picking that back up as well too, and I'm so happy to see that,
Yeah.
by the way. And it's just different. It's maybe not doing like the videos, but it's different. It's just
Yeah.
being more active out there and letting more people see that you are an experienced agent. You do
Mhm.
have so much to offer and to showing your value. So I
Mhm.
love it. I absolutely love it. So we're in 2025 now. All right. Well, actually, let me go before I go into that. I do want to say the fact that when the passion came back,
Mhm.
um your value even went up as well too within Edge Realty, because of the fact that you, with your experience, with your knowledge, you were able to educate others, and now
Mhm.
you're even mentoring others as well too.
Mhm.
So you're mentoring the newer agents whenever they come in, and helping them out through a transaction from
Mhm.
from front to back,
Right.
on the transactions. How has that kind of made you, what's the feeling that you have now? What do you feel like it's something that you're required to do, something from you, or is it something that you feel as though is just like a plus when it comes to being, an executive broker?
It's the plus for me, and it's joy, because I enjoy that, and helping someone to reach their goals. Josh, I want to see every single one of these agents not only succeed, do better than me.
Yeah.
Do better than me.
Hmm.
Y'all are young. I'm 59 years old. Okay. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but I want to say, hey, hey, look, that girl did $10 million. You know,
Yeah.
and I want to see that. So mentoring, or just even being able to answer a question that an agent may have, makes it, I'd be excited. I'm excited that they even trust me to want to ask me or talk to me and ask me questions,
Yes.
um with the mentoring, because I'm bossy. Okay.
Say it again.
I'm lost. So, but when it comes to what I do, um, and my teaching may not be the orthodox way of teaching. To me, I want you to do it. I'm going to show you what to do, but then I want you to do it.
Yeah.
So that I know you retained what I said to you.
Yes.
And I will also tell someone, I don't do things the way that you would do them, but I want you to come up with your own niche, but still do it the right way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's important, where when I go to listing appointments, it's just like I'm going to my cousin them house, and we gonna talk. And so the one young lady I was mentoring, she was like, I've never seen anything like that. I told you I'm not typical.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're teaching someone how to do something, you teach them like the book says. Okay. But when they see that in action, it don't look like the book. But if you can glean anything from me, glean being authentic.
Yes. And that's a challenge that I think a lot of people have, because they don't know how to transition from going from the book into making it your own.
Excellent.
You're still following the rules. You're still doing it by the guidelines. You're doing right by your clients, but you're doing it your way, your version. Because why would you want to do? That's where you don't want to be scripted. You don't want to be scripted on everything. If we were sitting here doing this podcast and scripted, it would sound like robots. Nobody's gonna want to listen to that.
Right, exactly.
Everybody's gonna think that you're just one of those telemarketers. Yeah, they faking it, exactly. So it is at first. I think they get overwhelmed. New agents get overwhelmed.
Yes, they
because they see, oh my God, this person does it this way, and this is the way it has to be done because this is the way they do it, and they're teaching me how to do it. And just like you said, I do the same thing where I tell new agents, you're gonna see the way I do it. Okay, I do it the right way. It's not the only way.
Exactly. That's good, Josh. That's good.
What I'm going to show you, and then here's the great thing about it is, one of the best things that I love about the fact that we do this at Edge Realty is that we have a mentor program. Our mentor program goes not only from one broker, but it goes from multiple brokers.
Yes.
So your first 3 transactions are going to be with a broker, and they're all different brokers. So you're going to have that ability to have that knowledge from each single one. And I tell them, so you're going to start off with me, and then you're going to go off to 2 other brokers. And then I want you to pick up, we're all going to do it. To you, it's going to seem like we're completely different in every single way. But I want you to pick up little things that you like from each one of us, and then utilize that and make it your own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then that's when, like you said, the authenticity is where it comes in. That's what you need, is authenticity. You want to be real. Unfortunately, you can't force it. But at the same time, the authenticity a lot of time for me comes from education. All right. Just knowledge, knowing what you're talking about, and being able to convey that to other people.
Absolutely.
So if you, and I love one thing you said earlier as well too, which, if you tell somebody something, you want them to see them follow through, so that that they have retained that knowledge.
Absolutely.
That's another big thing that I tell everybody is, I can spill all the knowledge on you right now, but if I don't see any execution, I'm not going to want to keep putting into you. You see what I'm saying? Because then to me, it's just words that are just falling on deaf ears. So, that's another big thing. And I think a lot of that has to do with people just not feeling comfortable. People not having the knowledge, not feeling comfortable as far as from what I teach them. And a lot of the stuff that I teach them is the marketing, so the marketing, if I tell somebody to do a video about whatever just happened to them, they tell me a story of, this transaction they just had. I was like, you know what, go ahead, put that on video. That'd be a great story to put out there. You will relate to other people, because I bet you a bunch of other people have gone through that, but you have the knowledge of telling them, hey, this is what we did to resolve that.
Right.
I tell you that I don't see nothing. Yeah. I'm not going to want to tell you another tip later on as well too. I mean, I'm always going to be there if you have a question, no matter what, but I don't know. It's just something that that I feel as though like I was taught where if there's no execution from me spilling all this into you, you know, then what's the point? You know,
Yeah.
I think a big reason why that's part of my life is because my dad, whenever I got in trouble as a kid, and I got in trouble quite a bit, but whenever I did get in trouble, my dad, you know, obviously there's times where he'd have to take out the belt, but other times, when he found out that that wasn't doing the trick, his punishment was sitting me down and giving me a lecture.
Ooh, I know you hated that.
Oh,
Oh my God.
for a kid that was so active, that was
Yeah.
hyper, that was, I had hard time focusing. My dad was a natural MC. Like the man is one of those people that he can stand in front of a crowd and he could have been told 5 minutes ago, hey, I need you to go in front of this crowd and give him this lecture. He'd be like,
Right.
okay, I got you. And so for him to sit there and to have a plan when it came to lecturing me when I got in trouble, it's this. I'm talking about. He would break you down, make you feel so guilty, you know, for what you did, and for good reason. Don't get me
'Cause
wrong,
you did it.
but because you did it. But it was a psychological punishment.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
And I was like, man, like, and he would get me every single time. But the biggest thing that he would always say is, you know, I'm gonna tell you all this, but if you don't execute or change or make it right, like
That's no different.
we're gonna be sitting down here again.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't want to
to
listen to that lecture
That's right.
again.
Yeah, I don't want to go back again. I don't want to come back.
I didn't want to listen to that lecture again. So, you know, that, but he knew, like, my dad had a really good tactic of parenting, which was lecture, you know?
Okay.
It wasn't until later on in life, you know what I mean? But it was, you know, it just what worked. But, yeah, that's another big thing. I think that's great. So, okay. So now we're in 2025.
Okay.
All right. It is, at the time of this recording it's January 20th, Martin Luther King Day, and then also Inauguration Day.
Yes.
Now what, do you believe in resolutions?
No.
No? Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because that's putting for me, it's putting too much pressure on me.
Okay.
My thing is, I'm just gonna let it do what it do.
Okay.
Let it happen the way it's gonna happen. Because if I say my resolution is I'm losing 30 pounds,
Okay.
and then I gain 45, or if I only lose 20, then I'm disappointed in myself. Okay, so I don't like to disappoint me, because when I disappoint me, that feels like failure. And the way that my mind is set up, failure is not an option. Okay. So resolutions don't work for me. I mean, it may work for other people, you know, just like goal setting.
Okay.
I
was going to transition into that. No?
No, because I feel the same way. What if okay, I made a goal for 2022. No, wait a minute. 2023. That because I did 7 million in 2022, I was going to do 7 million in 2023. I didn't. I missed it by 400. Dude,
does he hear anything about to get in a fight? What's going on?
What? I didn't meet that goal, but I did it because everybody was like, you know, we're going to make goals. I missed the mark. I went into 2024 with no goal. I said, Lord, whatever is going to happen in 2024, come January 2024, I'm going to let you have it. I didn't set a goal, but I exceeded.
You exceeded.
And that's a psychological thing. If I have, but I've been living my life like that forever.
Yeah.
For years, because goal setting doesn't work for me.
Really? Okay.
I tend to fall short because I'm trying to do a thing, so it's not natural for me. Okay. So if I'm trying to make something happen, I'm going to run through all kind of pitfalls and all of that. So I don't do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't do it because I missed that mark.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that's understandable. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And it's crazy because it does go against a lot of stuff that we kind of preach, but I mean, everybody's got to have their own way of doing things anyways, and it is interesting how that played out. It is very, I'd be very interested to see how that played out, as far as, the tactic behind it. Now, but what do you think is something that really kind of attested to, the amount of volume that you did this year, though? Like, what was it that was, like, I guess, like the main lead source? Obviously, Veterans United,
Mm-hmm.
but without you execution, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have got all those leads in the first place anyways. You know what
Right.
I mean? What is it that Tamara Miles does that got her to this point?
I educate buyers. I educate buyers. I build relationships with the buyers, and I ask them when I first make that first phone call. I tell them I'm wanting to earn your business, you know, but I do know that I have to earn your trust first.
Oh, amen.
Okay, so um, I build this rapport with them that makes them feel very comfortable. There's no trepidation, there's no intimidation. And I also explain I am not your typical realtor. You have two options. You can get the realtor or you can get Tamara.
Mm-hmm.
And they always say, well, I don't know Tamara, but I think I want Tamara.
Yeah.
And that's what they get. So, even though I have they're my only lead source, unless it's somebody that was a lead and they referred their friends to me.
Right.
Okay, so that's been some of mine too. And then the second thing that I look for in my first time home buyers, ask a lot of questions before we do anything. Ask me what you want to ask me. Let's talk about it. Let me know your fears. So you have to give a buyer a level of comfort, especially a first time home buyer, yes. Because somebody's uncle, somebody's cousin experienced something with the realtor. So they're fearful. Okay. So we have to undo what somebody else has done, basically. And then my buyers are veterans or active duty military. So I have to, some of them, like, we take a course every year. It's on PTSD or PSD. So you have to know how to deal with them because they're already apprehensive. Okay, they're about to make the largest purchase of their lives. If it's 150, 250, 300, And so you have to make them feel comfortable enough to even open up. Well, when you do that, you become the therapist, the psychoanalyst. You
Yes.
become all of that to them because they trust you.
Yeah.
So it's I think that if I didn't develop a rapport with my buyers or a relationship with my buyers, I would not do the volume that I do. And so, I mean, you don't know how many dinners I'm invited to. Somebody wants to cook the big dinner and Miss Tamara's invited. I'm at barbecues, I took a couple of baby showers, because that relationship is maintained after. And then they're going to send their other friends to me, their mother, their cousin. They're gonna this is how she treated me.
Yeah. They want somebody else to feel as good as you made them feel.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that I do, I provide a service to my airmen and veterans that are not here. I'm full service. What you need me to do? You need me to go to this house and video for you and then give you the wink if it ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do that. I just sold a house in January to a couple in Germany. Never met them. We only video chatted, And when they got here, they were like, "Oh my God, I don't know what we would have done without you. This was, this was good. Even his mom was like, they chose well. You did a good job in helping them because it was like it was gonna be my house. And Corbin was the builder. He was fantabulous in that. You know what I'm saying? So the services that you provide to let people know, hey, I am boots on ground for you.
Yeah.
So when you're able to give a service and the person is not looking at you, that's epic.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
epic.
And
So
that means a lot, especially for, because I understand having to move from one place to another, not being able to be out there to go see the houses constantly. Some people may have the opportunity to either come early or leave for a week and be able to look at houses. But when, it's really hard nowadays to be able to just stay for a couple days and find a house.
Absolutely.
Not possible.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you end up feeling like you have to settle, which we don't want that. We want people to be happy. We want people
Yes.
to say, this is the reason why we bought this house. This is exactly, we made a good choice. We had great help. And then this is exactly why we're here now. Okay. So speaking of veterans and Veteran United and, active duty members, there's a couple things that we definitely wanted to get in on.
Okay.
Which was a lot of, the VA misconceptions, right? There's some VA, we wanted to clear because we do have a huge VA following.
Absolutely.
We have the base, right next to us in Jacksonville and Little Rock Air Force Base. And we want to make sure that a big reason why I wanted to talk about this was, one, this is your wheelhouse, but two, it's interesting as to how many veterans and active duty members, especially the younger ones, don't know their eligibility when it comes to VA. What all it comes with being a veteran and being able to purchase a home.
Right.
And I feel as though a lot of them are just not educated on it.
Right.
And no fault of their own. It's just nobody's told them.
Exactly.
So I think that's the big reason why I wanted to talk about this. So, what's I know a couple of misconceptions, especially are, with the no money down,
Yes.
right? No money down. But what's the misconception with that?
No money down, but I can roll my closing costs into my loan.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they get that from, but I do explain. No, there is no money down. You're 100% financing.
Yeah, no down payment.
Yes, no down payment, because that's what 100% financing means. However, you will have closing costs unless I can get the seller to pay them. Now, I will ask for this amount, and then this will be your amount that you pay, So they 9 times out of 10, they say, well, my lender told me that I could roll my closing costs into the loan, and so I don't pay any money. Maybe you misunderstood what they said, because you will have some closing costs. Now, and then I also say, now, what we can do, once you write an offer and the property appraises, if it appraises for more, then we can go back and we can raise the price of the house and ask the seller to pay additional closing costs. And then they may keep you from, having to come out of pocket.
Right.
And that they're okay with that. And trust me, I work with the same lenders over and over again with Veterans United. I've been with them 3 years, and I always say, please don't tell them that they can roll their closing costs into their loan. That's not what they tell them. What they tell them is what I just said.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's what they hear.
Yeah.
No money down. And then we have the VA funding fee. Okay. So, and I tell people, you don't pay your VA funding fee up front. However, if you are 10% or more disabled, you don't pay a VA funding fee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
yes.
You don't pay the VA funding fee. And then we also talk about taxes. If you are 100% disabled, you don't pay property taxes. A lot of airmen, veterans, they don't know that
Yeah.
because they don't, it's let me get your
And they're
paperwork.
not, and especially the government, they're not gonna tell you that.
No,
They're not gonna
no,
tell you for you. You have
no.
to be the one to say it's forward to go ahead and get that
Yes,
benefit.
yes.
Sorry, keep going.
And,
Yes.
and and so I share that with them. And with the taxes, this is what I say. Let's say my buyer's approved for 350,000. They tell me I want a payment of 2,200. Okay. Well, are you 100% disabled? And they'll say, yes, ma'am. I say, hey, we can go up a little more in price because you don't pay taxes. And the area that you want to be in, the taxes are $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
We can go up a little bit. Then they think I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because I'm teaching them something that they didn't even know.
Yeah.
I also tell them, where to go to get your award letter, because they first of all, they don't know that this is available to them. They just don't know.
Yep.
They ETS, PCS, and some of them don't. They don't know all that. Somebody told them, well, you can use your VA to buy a house.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know your VA eligibility? Do you know your certificate of eligibility? Well, where do I get that from?
So many times.
Yes,
Many times.
because they don't know. But most lenders will get them for them.
Right.
Well, all lenders. But I still tell them, you can go to the Department of Veterans Affairs and you can print off your COE.
Yeah.
And so you'll know. Because I say, what is your name on your COE? Some of them don't even know their name.
So like it would have to be like their legal name is what
Their legal name. Yes,
yeah.
they don't know because when they come to me, they tell me their name is Leroy Brown.
Yeah.
Their name is Leroy James Brown.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I
and
say,
it's got to match.
Exactly. So what is your name on your COE? What is a COE, Miss Tamara? Your certificate of eligibility. So they will get that. And they will tell me what their name is because sometimes it doesn't match the driver's license. These things seem like minuscule, but they're major because they don't know.
Yep. It could jeopardize time frames. Not so much the deal itself, but time frames.
Time frames, yeah, because if you don't know something, you don't know. And another big question that I get asked all the time: what is the timeline between this, and this? Because they don't know. So I'm welcoming to all questions because before we write this offer, I need you to know this, and this. I even tell them, get a notepad, write the notes down, write the questions down. If you got a wife, if she got some questions, let her write them down. But do not go to Google looking for an answer because this is what I explain to my veterans and my airmen. If you ask a question that millions of people are asking, that the algorithms are going to allow that question to jump up first.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, bad, or indifferent. Ask me first. I'll give you the answer, and then you Google.
Yeah.
Because that's why we're where we're at right now. People thinking all this stuff is happening, but it's not. You're Googling a question, and it's the most asked question, so you just believed what you read.
Yeah.
And because people don't understand algorithms.
And the crazy thing is, especially now with AI, it could be taking an article that's old as well too. And laws,
Absolutely.
And there's a future, a lot of laws change.
Absolutely.
Laws change, and then guidelines change, and rules change.
Yes.
So there's a big misconception with that. So we got to make sure that if you do we have to be up to date on your information.
Absolutely.
With your experience, what are some other? I know we had notes, but I wanted to ask you personally, what are some misconceptions other misconceptions you've had with people coming to you for VA buyers or VA loans in general, like as far as like what they think, like for instance, for us, a lot of the times we have VA, a veteran that owns a home, bought it with a VA and now has PCS. what's the rule with that? Like,
Okay.
can they purchase another home with a
Okay.
VA loan while still owning
Okay.
this home while it's listed?
Yes. Okay. So when that happens, if they've lived in the house a year, they can rent it, and they just have to have a lease, and then that's when I recommend Edge Property Management.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, and they can buy another home because they freed up that eligibility amount because they're receiving rent. So, and then they get to their next duty station, and they look for a house. They, go through their lender that they used or the one that's licensed in that particular state,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be fine. So you can buy another house after you've been in a house for a year. And it's while I'm thinking on this, so you have also veterans on active duty that want to buy duplexes.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a duplex. You have to live in one side of their duplex for a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, you can rent out the other side, but you have to live there a year.
Yeah. So it's almost like that FHA house hacking.
Absolutely.
Very similar to that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that would be a great way, especially for these younger airmen and younger military members, active duty members, for them to get some equity in their lives,
Absolutely.
to earn some equity early on in their lives. Man, if we had known about that back when I was like 20 years old, I would have been doing that from day one, because that would have been just imagine now 15, 20 years later what that would be like today if we kept doing that once a year at that moment in time. I think that's an amazing.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not trying to be cynical. Equity for a lot of people, to include veterans, and it's like a drug. They seek that it's equity. I can do this, and I'm building generational wealth. That's how they think. So, when they want to be educated on that, I do that as well. I tell them what you have to do, and now you're a business. You're a business. So what you gonna do, Mr. Mira? I didn't think about it like that. So you mean to tell me I got to do this? Yes, you do, dear. Yes. And the biggest, well, can you? No, I don't manage properties.
Can you manage your property?
I don't manage properties.
No.
Yes,
we got somebody specifically for that.
Yes,
and she's amazing at it.
Absolutely.
So let's go with that. So what's another misconception that we've always heard, especially during that era of the vid, right? That crazy market that we had. Why do people say that it's harder for buyers to get a VA loan or a VA offer accepted by sellers?
This is my belief, because VA appraisers are very stringent. VA qualifications for a house are very stringent. You have to have flooring. You have to have working AC furnace. It has to be working, So a lot of people doing the vid didn't, because there was probably something amiss, and you would get a conventional or FHA or even USDA accepted quicker than VA, because VA is so stringent. But any government-backed loan, which is USDA, FHA, and VA, they're stringent.
Yeah. But
VA is more stringent.
And I think it's kind of a give and take here, because here's the thing, like, they are backed up 100% financially.
Yes.
But the thing is also, they have to make sure that investment is being covered. But at the same time too, it is kind of, I know it's more for the value of everything, but it also is, that's what I was going to add. Yes. It's also for the safety as well too. So we got to make sure that the home is safe and it has, a good structure.
Yes.
No rotting wood, railways that or rail bars that are for anything that's above 18 inches.
Absolutely.
So things like that. So like, those are the type of things that they have because it's just that's what they want. They want to have safety for everybody around them as well too,
Right.
and to diminish any type of liability that might come later on as well
Absolutely.
too. So
You know, I've gotten to the point where when I drive up to a house, if there's wood, it's like I zero in on the wood. You know,
yeah,
because that's the biggest thing for VA. Wood
yes,
rot.
yes,
Wood rot will, you will be subject to,
absolutely right,
you know.
absolutely
So,
right.
and I explain that to my buyers when they send me a house that's all wood,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or uh, well, we might want to, stay away from this. And I am wary of as is,
Yeah,
but they say that they will take VA,
yeah,
but they will do no repairs. So why do you have that if you will do no repairs? Because if the VA appraiser says something has to be repaired,
yeah.
you're saying
That's
you're not going to repair it.
yeah, and that's again that's at no fault of the buyer. They
Exactly.
have no choice on that part.
Right. So why do you have that financing option marked? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Right.
So, I think that's another misconception that buyers have when they're VA or active duty because it's in the public remarks as is. But doggone it if I won't get 10 or 12 cents to me
That's right.
every time.
That's right. That's right.
Because the price is low
Mm-hmm.
as is. Something wrong,
Right.
What how can you say something's wrong? We haven't seen it. Because it says as is.
Right. And the numbers a lot of time don't lie. They'll put it that way so that because they know the value of it in their minds, or they know what needs to be put into it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of value, speaking of price, what's that misconception now of that VA buyers cannot put in an offer more than the appraised value?
Well, it's a misconception because the contract they can offer more, but they have to pay out of their pocket because VA is not going to give a loan that's more than the appraised value.
Right.
So they can.
So the rule used to be that VA buyers weren't allowed to even put out of their own pocket. Before that, wasn't that the misconception?
Oh yeah, okay. Because I've never heard that.
Okay, all right.
It was a misconception because that's not a rule.
Yeah. That was a big thing during the whole crazy
Yes.
market that we had. People kept saying like, oh yeah, you don't want to go VA anyways because they can't even offer more than the appraised value. And I'm like, I don't. Where is that written down? Where is that written? I need to know
because it says in the VA addendum.
Mm-hmm.
It is the buyer can pay more, but you're not going to be loaned more.
Right, it's just gonna be out of pocket. That's
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it all came from, and I learned that in one of my first deals I did during that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that, and I was like, no, I literally just did it. We just had it happen. It just had so happened that our clients wanted it and needed it that bad that we went ahead and did it. And luckily everything worked out. Everything worked out with that one.
Yeah.
So I know I've taken about a bunch of your time, and
I slayed it for this.
Yes, you are amazing. I love you so much. I love you, and we can't leave without mentioning the fact that soon you will be a two-time Diamond Award winner for our board here, real estate board.
Yeah.
At the awards coming up here pretty soon, next couple months. So congratulations on that.
You.
Congratulations on all your success. I am just happy that I was able to just view the transition that you had from 4 or 5 years ago to Tamara Miles that's here today.
Right.
And that is Tamara Miles that we knew was there, that had the ability to do all that. And I can't tell you how proud of you I am.
Thank
you.
Can't
tell you how much it means to all of us to have you here. You are an asset. You are a huge value to not only the agents here, but to Edge Realty as a whole. And we love you so much.
And I love y'all.
We love you. We love you. So you've done amazing. Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
And where can they find you? Where can they find you? Give them your info.
You can find me at 2239 Bill Foster Memorial Highway, Suite
E.
You can also find me on Facebook. My business page is Tamara the Strategic Broker. And then my personal Facebook, it's Tamara Miles. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Check her out. She's got a lot of great stuff going on. She's been posting a lot more this past year as well too, which is awesome to see. And you can kind of just follow her on her journey. Follow her on her journey. It's really awesome. She does some great kind of like blog form as of late, which is really cool. So check that out. If you feel as though any of this information was great for you, we had a lot of information on via buyers, via loans, but not only that, but for real estate agents, if you feel as though you need somebody else to hear the story of kind of a pick-me-up story, make sure to share this with them. Make sure to tag them below if this is a clip, and then let them know, this is a really good episode for them to listen to. If you guys have any questions on something like this, what are your thoughts on VA loans? What are your thoughts on, getting from a slump into a progression in your real estate business? Let us know your thoughts. Have you if you've had something similar happen to you? We'd love to hear from you as well too. Until next time, Tamara, thank you so much again. We love you. It was a pleasure to have you. A pleasure to open up this new season with you, and we can't wait for everything you have going on in 2025 and beyond. So from Edge Realty to y'all, my name is Joshua Suarez. This is the first episode of our new season for the Edge Realty Podcast. Thank y'all so much for being here. If you made it all the way through, make sure to share, tag, like, subscribe, put the alarm button, all that good stuff, and follow us until next time. We got a lot of stuff coming up this season, and we can't wait to show you. We've got a lot of big lineups, and it's going to be exciting. So until next time, we'll see you. Love you. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Edge Realty Podcast. We hope you found the insights valuable and enjoyed the discussion. If you did, we'd love for you to help us spread the word. Please share this episode with friends, family, and anyone you think might benefit from our content. Your support helps us reach more people and continue bringing you the best real estate insights. Don't forget to engage with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to stay updated with our latest episode, behind the scenes content, and more. We love hearing from you, so drop a comment, ask a question, or share your thoughts on what topics you'd like for us to cover on future episodes. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our podcast, which is now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon Music, so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time on the Edge Realty Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping you navigate the world of real estate with confidence and success. Until then, take care and happy house hunting.